Going live. Hello, and welcome back to IGOW. We are on week number 33 now, and the game has kind of shifted into a new phase. If you haven't been paying attention in the Facebook group, the finals are starting now. We have 4 remaining players. Oh, and I need to adjust this. There we go. So our 4 remaining players are Sam Weidmer, that's Average FPV, Daniel Walston, that's Daylight FPV, JJ DeGarmo, Downfish FPV, and Steven Kind, that's Steve K. These guys battled through the last 32 weeks, and they are the last 4 players standing. And what we're doing now is, instead of me making up the tricks every week, they're going to make up the tricks more like a typical game of quad or horse or skate or whatever you played this before. So the first week was Average FPV's week, because starting this week, he had WHO and so did JJ. But as you can see from the letters here, JJ was not able to complete this week. So now he has who or woo, we're just calling it. All right, so
yeah,
and of course,
whoop, so woo.
Joined by RibbitFPV here, Liz Sugano, and Jesse Perkins.
What's up, everybody? I'm here at Tiny Whip HQ in isolation, and I feel like you breezed over what has led up to this moment, and I kind of want to spell it out, because 32 weeks
yes.
of IGOW, over half a year, led up to this moment, the beginning of finals. And to people, the 4 that are remaining are true champions of Tiny Whoop. These people have battled for 6 months to wind up at the top of a huge list. Over 100 pilots participated. I think you said 116.
Yeah.
Yep.
And shout out to all those participants too, because I think that I really think that what the 2 of you have done is magical. And now that we're all stuck in social distancing or isolation or whatever, I don't know what part of the world you're in. Around here, we are pretty much inside all the time, and we're not hanging out anywhere with anyone. I don't see anybody. But now when we've got, IGOW seems like even cooler now that you guys have done this, and it's an even bigger service to the community, and I'm endlessly grateful. So congratulations to the 4 incredible pilots that are on the list in the finals, and that have already submitted their tricks, I guess, and are getting ready to compete today. Regardless of how this goes down, I have immense respect for you, Sam, Daniel, JJ, and Steven. Unbelievable pilots. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Right? I'm so looking forward to this. I haven't seen any of these videos yet, so I'm really excited.
We only have 3 videos, as you can see, and Sam made up the trick, so his is like the explanation video. And then Daniel and Steve sent in videos, and JJ was not able to have enough time to try it out enough, he said. So as you can see, it's a pretty complicated trick. We will play the video now, explaining it. Oh wait, that's right, we need to do that.
Prepare to get your mind blown by the world's most complicated trick.
And welcome back to IGOW.
That's right, he had the squiggles.
On week number 33. And this week is the first week of the finals. We only have 4 players left, and we have 4 grand prize packages. So these last 4 players are going to battle it out in a slightly modified type of game that more resembles a classic game of horse or skate. If you're interested, you can check out the link in the description below to the full rules for the IGOW finals. But each player is going to have a chance to set their own trick that the other players are going to have to complete to avoid a letter.
We gotta set it up to give each other a high five like this.
Sam Weidmer, Switzerland.
Oh yeah, right here.
Let's go. Whoa, hey Sam, you plugged in on me.
Oh, sorry.
I love that gag, by the way. I love it. It's my favorite kind of smile.
This is FPV, and this week's tricks for you guys is called the triple stack gate domination. Rules: you need an IGOW approved triple stack gate No bumps, no taps.
Triple stack
No
gate is
super
just
droopy,
3 gates on
nappies,
top
and
of each
loops.
other like a
All
ladder.
3 parts in one shot within
We've
60
used it so
seconds.
many times that it's just like,
Yeah. The IGOW triple stack gate.
The first part are 3 magic.
It's a thing.
So you do a big one, a small one through the middle gate, and another.
Shout out to Maddie Stubbs.
You do a limbo, top middle, then a big power loop, a small power loop, and then you limbo back through the middle. And then repeat the first part with a big Maddie, small Maddie, big Maddie, and you yaw spin out for celebration. Let's have a
That
look.
drawing is amazing.
I know, it's hilarious.
Followed by a small one through the middle gate in the bottom.
and
A
Sam
big one.
is doing this line of sight.
And sometimes they're a little
He was
bit
nice
droopy,
enough to
but
let the
outside,
guys
that's
choose if they want to do
fine.
line of sight or
Then you have the
FPV.
limbo through
And it really does make sense that a lot of these backwards maneuvers, you can't see where you're going FPV, but you absolutely can see where you're going line of sight. You can
Yeah.
see behind you,
followed by a small one,
which is a huge difference.
counter taps, and then you have
Especially doing Maddie flips and these backwards.
now we're back to
Yeah.
the third part.
Something like one of those controllers with a screen in it would be like
Through the middle.
really useful. You could kind of combo line of sight
I
and
used to know a guy that had goggles with only one eye so he could watch line of sight and FPV with his other eye and train his brain.
they have
Look at this.
they have these goggles
Done.
for like picture drones where
That's the trick
you can
for this week.
it just like
And
puts an
done.
image like kind of AR like in your real world view. Okay, so that's the trick. If you didn't see, it's like week number 24 and then week number 19 and then week number 24 again.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't really think about it like that.
Yeah.
He changed
But I mean,
slightly
don't
up
you
the
think
gates.
anybody who's in our audience right now watching that trick, just thinking like WTF times 10, like when I first saw it, I was like, what? All of that, just stack it up. And Dan, you should also take a minute to suggest your finger holding up policy that you set up, because a lot of people at home might be thinking, sure, maybe he just tried a whole bunch of stuff and then called it a trick.
Yeah, so if you didn't read all the way into the rules, the way we set it up to make sure that you couldn't just like fly around and then be like, hey, do that. After they make up the trick and they tell me what they're going to do, then I give them a secret number of fingers, which for this first round, since they were all doing it at the same time, was like a fist. No cameras. And then, so after they did the trick or before, they have to do that to the camera. And that verifies like that they did it, you know, after declaring.
Done.
So then you can see here,
That's the trick for this week.
he gives the
And
camera the
Oh,
bro fist.
the bro fist. Very nice.
So, but the people performing the trick don't have to do that, because obviously if they were able to perform the trick before knowing what it was, then good for them.
You are amazing.
Yes.
You win by
Alright.
default.
Right? And I need you to tell me what next week's lottery numbers are.
Yeah, I got a couple other questions about this whole virus thing for you.
Yep. Okay, so first up, we've got Daniel Walston. That's Daylight FPV from Texas.
And he's a coconut today. It's
He's a
coconut
coconut?
time.
Coconut time today.
Yes.
He's
I don't know what that means.
he changes between forms.
Yes.
of-
Just been an
excellent.
ongoing gag
Mashed
for like 36
potatoes.
weeks.
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay.
What's up, Coco Nut? Daniel Daylight, Coco Nut.
Daniel has like I don't know, like 5 or 6 IGOW Tiny Moot prizes stacked up that he's waiting for.
Oh,
all at
yeah.
once. He just used all his beta FPV codes all on one order. They let you use like every $5 code. He had like 6 of them.
Nice.
Daniel's been crushing it lately. Ever since he got his letter, he won 3 weeks in a row.
Yep.
And then Steve won, well, Orange Stuff won last week.
Yeah, we motivated him.
Yeah.
We let him know you can't slack.
So
As much as it hurt my soul to vote for that letter.
Because
Definitely
It lit
he
a fire
made
under
a,
his ass.
just to clarify, he made a simple mistake, right? He didn't
Yeah.
know he was going to get a letter when he sent it in.
No.
Is that correct?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like his Matty flip. He definitely like, or wasn't. It was the one where you switch from a power loop to a Matty flip, and he like
He floated forward
Forward.
and then came back. And it was
Yeah.
supposed to be a very
Okay. Oh, that.
Smooth
Okay.
loop.
Yeah, that is controversial.
He had done it earlier in the week a couple times too, but then if you watch this video in slow motion, he went out of the wrong part of the gate.
Okay.
So then he did it again, and
Yep.
yep, he probably
Well-
could have done it if he just tried a little more. Anyway, let's see what we got from him this week. He always likes. He doesn't. Especially since that week, he always does like above and beyond
Yeah.
what the trick is. He doesn't
Classic.
want to just complete it. He wants to like crush the trick.
Awesome.
So, oh, and he got picked up by Newbie Drone too.
Yeah, he did. Heck
I
yeah.
like that newbie drone intro right
That's
there.
a cool one.
Very classy.
Oh yeah, and his music has been intense since that letter too.
All right,
So
so
it
he's
looks like-
busting line of sight, obviously.
Yeah. Got his Q gate opened up. Do a triple stack.
Beautiful.
Ooh, very nice.
That looks good.
Oh.
Ooh.
See how he's correcting that sideways motion? This guy's a pro. Another Maddie.
I was just, oh man.
Those two are
Maddies,
really
too.
good.
I'm still trying
Super
to just
smooth, Maddie.
manage a flip inside, let alone all of that.
So this is a strange line of sight. Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Now, after he's done line of sight, gonna land for a sec.
Gonna put the gargles on.
And do it FPV.
On the same battery?
No cut.
Wow.
Good Matty flips too, much better than the last time when we had this trick. Where he just kind of like flipped and then flew backwards.
So at this point, he's already past it. He's not getting
Yeah.
a letter, right?
Yeah, no, he's already passed.
It was
We're just
impressive
chilling
he could
together
just
now.
Do it both ways, but in the same battery, back to back.
In the same battery.
Like not even
No
any
cut.
mistakes in this.
You're ridiculous, Daniel. You are ridiculous. Did he just
It's a
move
major
to
statement,
himself?
as usual, Daniel. Props to you, man. Huge respect.
Nice job,
You
Daniel.
definitely dominated the triple gate.
Yep, definitely dominated it. All of his Matties looked like really nice too. Much
The
smoother.
two you did in a row during your line of sight session, Dan, were outstanding. You did two
Yeah.
quick ones. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Because you were
towards the
kind
end.
of regathering yourself after
Oh,
some of
man.
those, but those two you strung together felt beautiful.
Definitely. That was right at the end of it.
So much to like.
Yeah, at the end, too.
It was really
Right
good.
before
And then the fact that he took a minute to take a break and do some weird acro in the middle, you know, at first I was like, what's he doing? And then I realized he's leaving this section in to show us that this is the same no-cut battery, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, those two were nice and close. I think that's the two I was seeing.
Oh, very, very nice.
Bravo. I'm super impressed, as you...
Excuse me. All right. Want to do JJ?
Yep. All right. So next up, we've got JJ DeGarmo, Downfish FPV, who now has a woo because he was unfortunately unable to complete this week's tricks.
Yes. He said he barely had any time to try it.
Yeah, life.
His
Hey.
kids being home and
Yes.
If there was any week to, you know, understand somebody taking a week off, even in finals, it would be this crazy, you know, what happened to the world.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can't blame anybody at this
Yeah.
point, you know.
Right, especially when
says-
you got a family and you've got kids and school's been canceled and it's just like,
Yeah.
crap, what the hell happened this week?
He has to fly like at night and be quiet, he says, while he's flying in his basement. and he didn't have enough time to try it enough times to get it done.
That's okay, but he hosts next
Yes.
week, right? So if you
Yes.
have not checked that out yet, his week is currently posted, and those videos are due tomorrow by midnight.
And we're going to watch that later in the stream, right?
Huh? Yes.
You want to watch his trick?
The next trick in
Yeah.
this stream, is that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That'd be cool later, but let's not skip out on Mr.
Alright.
Kind.
Yes. So, our second video submission for today is from Stephen Kind. That's Steve K. from Sydney, Australia, who is the last remaining player with a clean slate. He
Yep.
has made it a total of 32 weeks without getting a single letter. Pretty impressive.
Yep. Steve's always killing it. So Steve going with
FPV,
that.
ladies and gentlemen.
It's the not seeing behind you that makes it difficult in
It's
FPV.
Yeah, it's incredible spatial awareness, situational awareness.
The number of times that they do it too, like
Right?
Yeah, I love that this trick eliminates luck. I mean, these guys are in incredible amount of control. And when you watch him come out of the gate, you know, he's not barely almost brushing the edge. He's like nailing it in the middle of the gate, like that one.
Yeah, just knowing exactly how much motion you need to
His
give.
brain has to be
everything.
calculating nice yaw out of it there. His brain has to be calculating the entire room, you know, the calculus of the entire room to navigate his quad moving backwards in a tiny area. You know, I focus on that as a pilot, and it's just awesome to see these guys.
he was trying to go for it 2 times in a row there, it looked like.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He was.
Seemed like it
and then
seemed like
little
that would
taps,
happen.
so
That would happen to you like so much. You just like slightly off and you just like bump the gate.
yeah, tiny tap. You know.
Messed up the whole thing. Yeah, because in that trick you're not allowed to bump anything. The ground, the table or anything else around in the room.
It had to be
So
perfect.
Steve's probably not with us right now, is he, on the chat?
Steve.
I mean, it would be, I think, 3 a.m. or 4. It would be really, really early for him.
Yeah.
He hops in here sometimes, but
It's usually when we're doing the later ones that he
is it?
hops in.
It's like 17
then he'll be-
hours.
Because
for
then
them.
he's usually
What
like
is
at
that?
work the next day. It's usually like lunchtime for him or something when we do like
17
our
hours
7
would be
PM.
4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
5:30 a.m. Sorry.
let's.
Wait,
You want to watch JJ's trick?
Yes.
I'm wrong about the time for everybody in the chat who's about to correct me. Hey, look, he's in the chat. He says it's 7:30. I'm glad I took back my math before. Yeah, Steve K just says he just got here, and you probably just missed all of us talking you up, man. We've been awesome run. I love that you did FPV too. I mean, outstanding control and understanding of your, you know, spatial awareness just through the roof. You know, that's got to be the kind of thing the military is looking for. You know. It's a genius, you know, it's almost outside of the realm of talented flight because it's way more than that, to have a grip of the world around you. Maybe Tiny Whip's going to be great for training that. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So next week is JJ DeGarmo's week, or the current week we're on, which would be week 34. And that's, like Liz said, is due tomorrow. So let's check out that. And then we'll be watching that one next weekend while Daniel's trick is running. The tricks premiere at Sunday at midnight, just so they have like 1 week exactly
Cool.
to do it. And that's how we've been doing it for the last 2 weeks. Anyway.
Excuse me.
Surprisingly, everyone that made it to the
Is
end
there a
is
device happening
also
using all the
good
wood?
at line of sight.
Hello. Welcome back to
Skittles!
International Game of Loop. We are on week
Come
When
here,
I
Skitty
started
Bugs.
talking, she would like actually look at the camera.
the second
I was
week
like,
of the finals.
instead of trying to look back in the
She's in your grips right there, man.
because otherwise she'll just run
He's
away.
got in store for us. So the trick that Dowfish has created for
She just disappeared.
the finals is much like last week's trick in that it matches up 2 previous weeks of IGOW. And those weeks are week number 25's mini
Yeah,
UTT
and
number
JJ's just
and
so
week
impressive
number
with this.
27's line of sight
Yeah, he has like experience before.
I haven't seen this yet. I'm excited.
Oh, it's impressive.
Requirement number 1.
So it's
set up the
I'll
track
explain it
in
since it's
the
kind of
same
quiet.
way
It's like week number 25, which was the mini UTT number 3, and then week number 27, which was the line of sight acro figure eights. So you have to do the UTT, but line of sight in acro.
Awesome.
And his requirement was 2 laps in less than 35 seconds.
I love it. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that we're going to see these pilots, exhibiting the tricks that they're pros at.
Yeah.
But they, because they don't. The last thing they want is everybody to be able to do it. Sam is like pretty stoked that JJ had a rough week, because if JJ had pulled it off, Sam would be rocking the woo instead of JJ.
Yep.
So you don't have to fly in continuous forward flight the entire time. You can fly
Yep.
backwards
And oh yeah, you had to
adjust.
actually like face forward through each gate. You couldn't
Through each
like
gate.
do like a headless mode and just be facing one direction while you did it.
So you can't
Yep.
just always have the drone like facing away from you and fly through the course.
So you can
I
fly
love
line
how
of sight
there's
like
two of
FPV
you explaining the
FPV
same thing at the
does.
same time.
All right.
Double Dan, double D.
FPV for making up this trip, and it's going to be interesting to see if the other 3 finalists are able to pull it off. Anyway, good
Oh,
luck.
yeah, it is.
Good guys.
Oh man.
2
I want
laps under
spoilers.
35 seconds.
A little bit of surfer music here.
I think it's Rock Lobster.
No,
It's
it's
the
not.
soundtrack, isn't it?
No. From B-52s? It does sound like it.
But just without the word.
I got money against that one if you want to go for it, Dan.
That's just what it reminded me of.
It does. It reminds me of it too.
Oh, and then you had to catch that.
Bravo, JJ.
So impressive.
Giving us the air pound right there. That's
Yeah.
where all the
And
delinquent
the same-
puppy pilots go. Straight to the air pound.
And so it was the same thing for him. He couldn't just like do the track and then be like, do it faster than I did it. He had to pick a time he was pretty sure he could complete and then do it after. So he picked 35 seconds. He did it in about 32.
Well, not if you count the Palm Land. He did it in like 34.9.
Yeah.
It's just gate to gate though. The Palm Land
Okay,
you just have
okay.
to do afterwards.
You just can't land on the floor afterwards. Okay.
Yep.
Very,
So-
very good.
So these pilots, what do we expect? I mean, these pilots are going to try to do that. We're going to watch, Dan probably do it line of sight, and then do it FPV, and then do it backwards FPV, and then do it upside down.
Right,
Good luck with that.
probably. He's been trying to push it. And if you make a suggestion, he will attempt it.
I know that
I gotta.
at least one of them is trying to do power loops in the gates because it's actually faster for
Oh,
the line of
cool.
sight.
That
Instead
makes
of just
sense.
like going turning and turning, and you're still when you're doing a power loop, you're facing forward through the gate, so that still counts. So
Well-
that should be interesting to see.
I'd like to just, these are the pilots, these geniuses who are putting their talents into Tiny Whoop right now. I think these are the pilots. I would love to see people like Dan and Steven trying out serious 3D stuff. With that kind of situational awareness, you could 3D in FPV like nobody has so far. Straight up, nobody has. I mean, there's a few people flying gates upside down. We all love Zoe.
Yeah.
There's been a handful of
JJ?
people that...
JJ actually has a 3D whoop, and he flies the courses upside down.
I'm not surprised. That's awesome.
He wanted to do like a 3D trick, but that's one thing we didn't allow in IGOW.
Yeah, maybe in the future, because
Yeah.
it would be mind-blowing. I've always wanted one pilot, just one genius pilot with all the talent that's out there in the world now, to really dedicate to mind-bending 3D, possibly mess with camera angles at the same time, or even the changing camera angle. I kind of want to show off this thing really quick. Dan, I hope this is okay.
Yep.
It's fine.
Oh, and
This
Jesse-
squad,
Jesse Average asks, "How are your line of sight skills?" And Jesse's really
oh,
good
they're
line
pretty
of sight.
solid. I'm
Yeah.
I'm into line of sight a lot, but I don't know if I'm on your level, buddy. But
Right.
I started line of sight for a long time because FPV hadn't come out yet back then. I want to show off this quad, which is kind of hard to see, but it articulates. Let's see if I can get it in front of the camera. So the camera's facing forward at all times, and
You can change
these
your
seem.
camera angle like live, like while you're
So you
flying?
can change. It's a servo that adjusts the angle of your motors or camera depending on how you look at it while flying. This is a concept designed by Martin Rudot, the same guy that invented Rudy's hyperdrive.
Ah.
That's crazy.
I like
And
Martin. He was nice.
he's wonderful. I love the guy. But this kind of quad is notoriously mind-bending to fly because we're really latching on, especially in acro mode. The only reference you have to gravity is with your eyes, and if you're counting on a static camera angle, this thing is just something that I think maybe nobody has been able to wrap their brains around yet.
That's
And it's the reason I'm bringing it up around here. This one's going to Matty Stunts next. I'm sending it over to my friend Matty Stunts because I felt like he was the perfect person. But now I feel like people have taken it beyond what he started. And I would love to
JJ
see
says that, Jesse, you got to get them some true 3D props to be able to do it.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, that's a major problem on the tiny level. You know, I could talk about that a while. When you got a 31 millimeter prop, you know, the reason not very many people are using bi-blades is because when you're that small, you just need more wing in that area. You don't just need more wing. You need a cambered wing that pushes the air down, you know, on a tiny prop. You need these four wings spinning around. When you make it a flat 3D prop, you lose a ton of thrust, and you can still get power. Like, we have the technology nowadays, but it's not like you're used to. This is my experience. Maybe some of you pros in the chat can holler at me about it, but
Yep. Steve said
there
the
are
same
some
thing.
props that are. Pardon me?
Steve says need 3D props. Last time I tried the 3D whoop, he couldn't hover upside down. FPV tried the same thing and gave up.
Yep, whoops have gotten more powerful since. If I had to guess the best, excuse me, I'm not the, I haven't tested props in 3D. It's not something I've been chasing down as much.
Steve says that he'll take that and that Maddie can get his own.
Well, you know, you gotta pay homage to the pioneers that came before you, my friend. I got nothing but respect, Steve. I'd love, you know, maybe we can send this straight from Maddie to you. This is a quad that, it's like a ready-to-fly quad that was sent to me and meant to be passed around. So I'd love to put one of you guys on the list. It'd be sweet to have it in Australia. If you actually want to put the time into wrapping your brain around what it means to change your camera angle while flying, that's exactly what this quad is for. So I'd love to send it to you, but I did tell Matty Stunts he could try it first.
Nice. JJ says it has to be 40 millimeter for him to do 3D.
Yeah, I still think it's probably possible. I would pick a bigger motor like the 803 Profuse. Like 20,000 kV 803 is considerably more powerful on the low end compared to 22,000 802. You know, the same top speed, but more torque on the low end, which is what you're going to need to make those punches. So I think the closest prop right now is probably a gem fan, but a better option is likely a 4-blade 40 millimeter prop cut down to 31 is probably going to be the temporary solution till it, you know, there's no market for 3D whoops right now. There's no company that can invest in thousands of props for a couple of people wanting to try it. So in the meantime, we'll probably end up bullnosing 40 millimeters or even 65 millimeter to try to make it work. That's my theory. Well, man,
Joe Nunez says he would buy that frame.
you should talk to Martin Rudot. I don't know if he's actually selling them. You know, there's no money in the frame game.
So
People
can
that
you-
are playing.
Can
Pardon?
you fly it like a normal quad and then also adjust the camera angle, or can you only like tilt forward by? Like, how does it work?
You fly it like a normal quad, and then on one of your potentiometers, you adjust this in flight. So
Gotcha.
the reason I thought of Matty is he's famous for finding the high camera angle. So let's see, his camera angle, if he was at a flat quad, he'd be at about 55 to 65 degrees. So just over 45 is kind of how I visualize that. And that's how he's able to get those tricks of flying backwards around something, looking up at it. But imagine if you could make changes to your camera angle while you were upside down looking at something and perform the calculus your brain has to do to control a fifth channel, which I think is something like 3 times harder than adding a 4th channel. You guys remember when you went from like a car to a drone, how hard it was. But when you add a 5th channel, it's real challenging for human brains, at least this human brain.
I think Steve would
And,
have a good chance at it. He's the one that can do like the inverted rolling orbits like back to back. If you haven't seen that.
Nice. Cool. Well, I'm all about it, man. I mean, this was meant to be passed along. I literally haven't flown it yet. If I get to fly, I'm usually really excited to fly Tiny Whoops, and also it's like Tiny Whoop. I'm the Tiny Whoop guy, so I got Tiny Whoops are always happening. I love mini quad flight, and the freedom of like hardcore high power Superman flight is in my soul forever. I'll never forget it, and I'll never stop doing it. But I haven't had time to even try this gorgeous thing. I just keep wanting to show you the articulation.
It's
It
just
sounds
awesome.
cool too.
Oh, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Because the mic's right here.
Oh, yeah, I was like, that's because Jesse has a real mic.
You guys, your voice sounds crystal clear to me, by the way.
The,
Oh, that's
the
good.
mic on this like Logicam
Yeah.
is good.
Nice. Yeah, no, it really sounds good. I wouldn't change a thing.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
Well,
thanks for joining us, everybody. It was a good live stream, and we will be back next week to see how everyone did on JJ's trick.
Yes. So if you have not already, Daniel, Sam, or Steven, get your videos in by midnight tomorrow.
Yes.
And then Daniel's video will premiere at midnight tomorrow.
Yes, and Jesse kind of went over it, but if all of the 3 other pilots are able to do the trick, then the person who made up the trick gets a letter. So now that JJ's on Woo, if Sam, Daniel, and Steve are able to do it, that'll knock him out. So
Gotta be
interesting
careful.
To see next week.
what are your predictions, guys?
Oh, I mean,
These are not pilots to underestimate.
they're
you
not.
know?
All of these guys could do week number 27, but JJ and Daniel were the 2 like best line of sighters. I would say.
JJ won that week.
Yeah, with his flippy
Yeah,
things.
because not only did he
Nice.
do the trick, but then he just
Did that.
added so much more onto it at
he
the
was
end.
doing like little TikTok
And it was like
type tricks.
dark. He did it on LED hoops. It was amazing.
And he could do it like he was like turning 90 degrees, doing the little flips, turning
The
90.
TikToks,
So you
yeah.
could do it in all the orientations, which I think is the hardest part of line of sight.
Oh, nice.
Like I could kind of fly around facing one
Oh,
direction.
cool.
Oh, I've gotten a lot better.
But I break down when I start facing myself.
Oh no, I've actually gotten to the point where I
She's
could like
actually
fall
pretty good now.
fall down behind something and pull myself back up and get out. Like I fly line of sight a lot better than I actually fly FPV. For
In
some
acro?
reason. Huh?
No.
In
No,
acro?
not in acro. I'm still getting used to acro. I've actually managed to get up and fly around without just automatically crashing, so that's nice.
Are you?
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
flying unstable when you're flying around like the whoop races and stuff with like the streamers on you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that a flight mode that has a reference point to gravity in your thumb, not just with your eyes, is a much stronger interface for the human brain.
For sure.
But I'm not trying to argue with any acro lovers. I'm an acro lover, you know.
Line
I
of
fly.
sight acro is super hard though.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But yeah. Anyway,
Well, yeah.
thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good weekend and enjoy your social isolation.
Yep. Later, Jesse.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.
Go ahead this.
Doop.